Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Today, Christopher has an interesting individual who has had a spinal injury, very severe, and has made a great recovery. So stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Christopher is a Ohio Tech ambassador with the state of Ohio who goes around and speaks about the various different disabilities and ways in which individuals can use equipment to the best and fullest way possible. And today, Christopher has an individual who has had a severe spinal injury, who has made a, as best as possible, recovery, who's going to be talking about spinal injuries and some of the equipment that was used to help him get back on his feet. Chris, always a pleasure talking with you.
Always a pleasure to be here, Patrick. Just looking around and educating myself and bringing awareness about different groups and different disabilities. There's a lot of disabilities out there that a lot of individuals in the world haven't heard of. And September is Spinal Cord Awareness Month. And today I'm bringing on Aaron to talk a little bit about himself and some of the things that he uses in his life and his book that he had written. Aaron, tell us a little bit about yourself and the equipment that you use and about your buses going all over the country and how do you do it?
Thank you, boys. Patrick, Christopher, I appreciate you having me on here today. Yes, my name is Aaron Baker. I am a recovering quadriplegic. Over 26 years ago, I suffered an accident, fracturing my neck, instantly paralyzing me from the shoulders down. And I've had a very, very long road of recovery since then, rebuilding my life, redefining myself from complete paralysis to today, where my family and I are on the road, as you alluded to. We have an organization called Adversity into Adventure, where my wife, daughter, and I fund 3 pillars of impact, which is rehabilitation programs, adaptive recreation, and we fund neurological research. So we're on the road with a mission in motion.
I know you brought a video. You want to go ahead and play that?
Absolutely.
In the beginning for me, it wouldn't have mattered how badly I desired to overcome the injury. It really came down to the people and the family, the community that rallied around me to assist me. Because the bottom line is I couldn't move anything. I couldn't do anything for myself. Quadriplegic is a pretty heavy term. In 1999, I broke my neck racing professional motocross. In that moment when I broke my neck, I instantly became a quadriplegic. And from a flicker of a toe to the contraction of a muscle to the movement of a limb, over the course of a long, long time, many years of diligent hard work, we've been able to recover to the point that I am today. Walk with a stick, happily. Also ride a wheelchair when I'm just cruising. But play with all these toys, bicycles and buggies and go-karts. I become most inspired when I'm really connecting with people, like at the Wings for Life World Run. That's a tremendously inspiring environment, to know that we're there for a cause and to know that, I'm taking my small steps and a good friend could be running the whole 26 miles. 100% of the proceeds of the World Run goes to funding ongoing research. We will find a cure. I'm confident of that. Be a part of this movement. Come support those who need it most, those living with spinal cord injury. My name's Aaron Baker, and I'm a proud Wings for Life ambassador.
Aaron, that was an inspiring video talking about different ways that you've overcome the barriers in life and learning about different ways of getting over those barriers. And a lot of times, families just don't understand. There are individuals who have spinal cord injuries and end up in a nursing home and end up in a retirement home or something. Those families don't know that there's ways of recovering and ways of getting over that hump and those barriers. So tell us a little bit about how you overcome those little barriers.
You're absolutely right, Christopher. We're actually quite fortunate today to have access to social networks and technology that connect us and connect our stories. Where, for me personally, 2.5 decades ago, when I was first injured, stories of hope and recovery and healing were few and far between. There was not a lot of options for us back then. And I was very fortunate that I had tremendous family support and love in my corner, facilitating an optimal healing environment for me to work hard at improving the quality of my life, using the tech of the day to help me move more gracefully through life, that being wheelchairs, adaptive bicycles. I have been able to recover to a point of being able to ambulate, walk slowly with the help of mobility aids like canes, walkers. I think today the tech has definitely advanced. Things that I use today that greatly improve my life are, I just got the new Ray-Ban Meta glasses. If you've seen those.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you put them on, they talk to you. And you can hear your messages, you can send emails, you can call people, you can control your smart devices just from having the glasses on. And that has been a tremendous help. They're a lot of fun to use. I can snap photos and record videos on the fly, real time. I can instantly upload that onto the web. So that's my latest piece of helpful technology. I also use Permobil products, Permobil wheelchairs, Tylite, high-performance, lightweight wheelchairs that are tailor-fit to my specific body morphology. I also use what's called a smart drive. A smart drive technology is a little assistive mobility or motor that attaches to the wheelchair, and I use my Apple Watch and I tap my hand and it turns the motor on and allows me to go long distances in my chair without tiring my shoulders or my body, through airports, through shopping malls. It gives me quite a lot of independence, Chris. So smart technology of the day is definitely making life much easier.
It is. Talking about the technology of today, it's like, it could be scary, but at the same time be fun for us. Because with us, with the multiple disabilities and other disabilities, you end up grabbing a hold of those tech because it really helps, from a big spoon to a little spoon to a talking calculator, those kind of things. You know, it's amazing of how technology has came, and Apple and different other agencies are working on getting connection to the wheelchairs. And I have a friend that uses the watch and also uses the power on her chair. And I noticed her, I think it was like last July, I noticed her using her chair through the mall. And I realized she wasn't using her hands. And I realized that, wait a minute, how is the chair moving if she ain't using her hands to make it move?
Right.
And I asked her that question, and she's like, oh, I do it all by my smartwatch. Yep. I was like, what? She's like, yeah. Do you see that motor down there? Typically, I said yes, but I didn't see it at that time. I was like, pretending that I did see it. But because I am legally blind and legally deaf, so a lot of times I don't see things. But I'll look later when I got more time. But I did see the motor underneath her chair and connected to her watch, and it was just amazing to me how something like that can help somebody be able to just fly right through a store and get what they want and get out. It's just amazing. And you were talking about bicycling around the country. How in the world could you do that and have spinal injury?
Well, that's a great question too, Chris. Like I said, it's been a long, long road of recovery, and cycling has become a large part of my overall health and wellness. It's given me a sense of freedom and liberation from the wheelchair. I can get on a special made tricycle. So it has two wheels in the back and one in the front. And in the videos and anything else you look up on my social platforms, you'll see the bikes that I ride, both on road and off road. Just to the best of my ability, push those pedals and cycle long, long distances. I've cycled now across the country 3 times, Chris. Once in 2007 with my mother on a tandem bicycle. Again in 2008 on my own from San Francisco to DC. And then last year on Route 66 from Santa Monica to Chicago, all with a mission, promoting the power of possibility and planting seeds of hope and inspiration in other people like myself.
You said it best when you said accessibility, powering others. That's amazing that you did that 3 times already. I can't imagine of what individuals that were driving by looking and seeing what they were thinking in their head. Wow. Where is he going? It's a great feeling when you accomplish your goal, when you're dream and advocating for others. I see that you're in your bus. Tell us a little bit about that and why do you use a bus to travel around?
I did have a rehabilitation center called the Center of Restorative Exercise for over a decade, and my family and I sold that. And when we did, I thought, how else can I be useful or valuable in the world for other people like myself? And when I asked myself that question, I thought, I'm going to start an organization that empowers other organizations for diverse abled people like ourselves. And that's where Adversity into Adventure was born, and these 3 pillars of impact: rehab, recreation, research. And when that came to be, we decided to sell our home in Los Angeles, purchase the tour bus, move all of our belongings onto this rig. It has all of our branding and our sponsors and partners on the side, and we put this mission in motion, Chris, because for me to speak with any kind of validity or credibility, I have to live these words. And so that's where I literally put everything that we're talking about in motion on the road, and we go to these organizations. We engage literally these activities. For example, tomorrow, I'm going to go experiment with some great technology here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, using Action Track wheelchairs. It has a special tractor tire that can take you out onto the sand and on the beach for individuals with mobility impairment. So that's one example of what we're doing out here on the road.
I know we're talking about advocating for those with spinal cord injuries. What is spinal cord injury?
That's a great question, Chris. For those that do not know, a spinal cord injury is any type of damage or infringement on the central nervous system. You have the brain and the spinal cord, which controls all functions throughout our physical body. And anytime that signal, those electrochemical signals are impeded or impacted, that disrupts the movement of our body or the functions of our body. So for me, because I broke 3 vertebrae in my neck, everything from below this level down has been affected. So my hands, my arms, my legs, all my natural systems have been impacted by this injury.
Do you go to other agencies here in Ohio? Have you been to any?
We were at the Cleveland Clinic. We went to the Turn accessible golf facility. I know there's much more to see and do in Ohio. We were there last month and we enjoyed our time. We definitely have to return to the state because not only is it beautiful and accessible from our experience, but there's much more to do there.
That's good to hear that you have a good experience of being accessible here in Ohio. I'm sure the folks here in Ohio like to hear you say that. So, what about conventions or kind of like workshops and different things? If individuals want you to come here in Ohio to have a table or speak or just be there to show off your buses, how would they be able to get a hold of you for that?
Well, I'm very accessible online, Chris. You can find me at my personal website, imaaronbaker.com, adversityintoadventure.org, all over social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm Aaron Baker. The Rebellious Recovery is the book that I wrote. My mother actually wrote a book as well called Rise Together, which talks about the family perspective, the ripple effect of trauma within the community. Very valuable tool for caregivers. I'm easy to find and easy to connect to online.
I saw your book and it seemed interesting. Part of the Ohio Deaf Friends of the Library, and they're always looking for accessible books and books about different disabilities to promote throughout, every year to all the libraries in Ohio. We're always looking for books, and that's a book that I'm going to have to promote it for their library. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I love that. That's exactly why I wrote the book, is for others like us to be a guiding light, a glimmer of hope, and life experience. There's a lot of inside information in that book.
How would individuals learn or be able to get information that they need about, power chairs and different bicycles? And what would be your recommendation for them to be able to find help?
Sure. Well, there are a lot of resources out there. I work closely with the Permobil Foundation. I am a part of their board of directors. So coming to me directly for any queries about the latest wheelchair tech, I would love to connect them. My website also has resource information around adaptive cycling, adaptive recreation programs. I would just get in touch with me, and I can steer a person depending on their interests, their wants, and their needs.
And I know that cost is a big factor, and a lot of people worry about that. With individuals with multiple disabilities and other disabilities, things that we need is so expensive. It's not that we want it, we just need it, and
Sure.
it's so expensive. So, is there any programs out there you can name off a couple that may help with funding or things like that?
There are many organizations that fund these needs. Sports equipment, adaptive sports activities, stuff like Adversity into Adventure. You can go online and apply for an individual grant. Challenged Athletes Foundation, Kelly Brush Foundation, Permobil Foundation. There are a lot of organizations that help offset the costs of these needs.
That's awesome. I know that a lot of people, when they don't need those items anymore, they'll tend to donate them back to the community. And I know there was something online about why would you want to donate a usable wheelchair or a usable walker, or why would you want to donate after somebody's had it? Well, not everybody is fortunate to be able to pay for that item, and those donated items can be maybe the price that they can afford.
Well, they're very valuable. I mean, just because they've been used does not mean that they're old or unusable. This equipment is a lot of times very well built and will outlast the user. So I've used many used modalities over the years, and I have great joy paying that forward to the next.
Do you do a lot of speaking engagement?
Absolutely, Chris. I am passionate about sharing story, about planting seeds of hope and inspiration, motivating people to find strength in themselves, and giving them a roadmap on how to achieve goals. So yes, I enjoy public speaking.
What about Costin having you come out and speak to a convention or maybe some kind of outing?
Yes, of course. I'm always interested in opportunities to share and connect and amplify a message. So I would love to talk more about that.
Aaron, I find it amazing that you were able to recover from such a horrendous accident, horrendous injury. What is it about you that helped you to recover where other individuals with similar kinds of accidents can't?
Well, Patrick, that's a great question. And I always like to preface an answer around this topic that I am not recovered. This is not past tense. I am choosing to recover, or I am recovering each day with the choices that I make, because I live with a high level spinal cord injury and the complications and challenges that that poses. So I have not reached a certain point and that's it. These are daily choices, and every day I wake up to the challenge, and every day I have to consciously move forward in life and manage this condition. I think that's a mindset. That mindset was fundamental early on in this recovery. As an athlete, I think I came into this process understanding that this is not a quick fix. This is a lifestyle change. I'm not trying to get back to a life that was. I am building something new, and I am having to solve problems each and every day as they come. So this fundamental mindset has allowed me to weather the ebb and flow of the process, the emotional roller coaster, if you will. I have a willingness to endure suffering and to still live forward. Some of this comes from my athletic background. Others I have intentionally cultivated through philosophy and through other, leaders or those that have triumphed over great challenge. I look to these individuals, to these examples for my own inspiration to keep me going, because I think we have to lean on each other. And when we share our stories openly and vulnerably, we can relate to each other and therefore empower each other to keep going. So I am recovering, Patrick and Chris. I choose to each and every day.
I would imagine that the family is so important, especially at the beginning.
Thank you for recognizing that. Yes, indeed. The love and support of those around you makes an immense difference in a person's quality of life and potential outcomes. Because yes, indeed, I did have a desire early on to challenge it. But without that family support, without the facilitation, physically providing an environment and opportunities for me to express my effort, then none of it would have been realized. So yes, Patrick, my mother, Laquita, my father, and his support. Although they were divorced, they still came together with a common cause, which was to help me and my sister even. My sister, there are casualties in the family when trauma strikes one. And I was very, very lucky and grateful to have had such support and love.
So I hear a lot of individuals with children that have spinal cord injury say that my child will never grow up and be able to be independent. My child would never be able to have a relationship with someone. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just asking you, what do you think about that? Knowing you've been around the country and heard many stories and probably met a lot of people.
Chris, that's something poignant and important to bring up. It starts with that language, right? With that belief system. My child or this person will not. ever. And that kind of language will thwart any possibility from the get-go. So if you can change that little bit of thinking in the beginning, then it opens up a world of possibility. Who knows what people are capable of? But you can't stop in the beginning with, oh, they'll never. That's what I call a difference between possibility outcomes versus probability outcomes. Most prognostications are probability based, general statistics of potential. I like to say anything is possible. We don't know how to forecast another person's future. Don't ever squash someone's hope. We don't know what they're made of. We don't know what their family or their community is like.
You could be a barrier for someone in a relationship. You don't want to be a barrier for them. And so relationship may not be good for you. So what do you say about that?
My wife found me 12 years after I had a spinal cord injury. If I thought that way, then I would be alone, and I would think that nobody loves me, or I'm a burden, or I'm a barrier to people. If I thought that way, then love would never find me. The person that I align with and vibe with would never come to be because of the way I think about it. And to me, I just don't think that way. Life is now, man. Life is now. My father is dying today. Today, he will die. Literally. When I get off this call with you guys, I'm going to call the hospital and he will take his last breath. So this interview with you means a lot to me. I want you to cherish time, share your love, because that's all we have.
Well said. Well put. Hey, this is Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Today, Christopher talked with a unique individual, Aaron, about his spinal recovery and his fantastic turnaround of his life and the healing process that he undergoes every day. Chris, Aaron, thank you.
Thank you.